The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico de Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world. And I'm Paige Clarke.
Yes, and I'm Nico de Haan, and we do this, of course, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. And it's a beautiful day here in downtown Clearwater, isn't it?
It sure is. It's sunny. I hope that we're going to have some nice weather because we've had a lot of rain. I was looking at my pool this morning. Oh, really?
We got a low in the Gulf that's coming really north, so it's going to skirt us a little bit and hang around the whole weekend. So it's going to be raining the whole weekend.
Oh,
so.
That means I'll have to get stuff done.
Good idea.
Hey, make sure you pick up our Health Signals newsletter. This is news you can use to live longer, stronger, healthier, wealthier. We've got great resources. You can get it in your inbox with all kinds of clickable links to really good stuff.
Only $10 a month, folks, $5 an issue. And, of course, we have our Primal Edge, our 310 organic cell-ready ingredients, all powered by humic and fulvic acid to get good stuff in.
And to get bad stuff out, guys.
And we're taking your phone calls, of course, at 877-927-6648. So this subject that we're talking about is kind of like what we've been talking about for the last few months, the science of time.
Yeah,
really.
The chronobiology and circadian rhythm. You know, we're realizing more and more in health, it's not what you do, but when you do it. And I really wanted to kind of bring everybody up to speed with kind of what you and I are finding, and this is just splintering out into some fascinating fields.
Well, it's kind of an interesting thing because as an athlete, rhythm is really important because if you're competing, you want to peak at that right time. So you have to know when those rhythms are and how you can adjust those rhythms. I was watching the hockey game last night with the Lightning, and it was pretty obvious the last couple of games they were out of their rhythm. And before that, they were in their rhythm. And it's really amazing how those things can change. But the Washington Capitals were in their rhythm, and we weren't, and we couldn't score, and they did. And, you know, that's the sad part about hockey, but the good news is that I don't have to stay up real late anymore.
Right, it's all done. It's all done.
Yeah, it's all done.
Let's talk about it because those of us that have been in the circadian rhythm market, the mitochondriacs, you know, Jack Cruz, starfish as he calls us, you know, we're really learning a lot from people that are diving into figuring out how our body uses time and also temperature as signals. So let's kind of start back at the beginning here with this website. Interested in it, may not agree with everything they say, may agree, but doesn't even really share who is writing this website. But the website is called, in case you want to follow along, is chronobiology.com, and we've brought it up on the show before, and I think it's important because, Nico, so many of us really know very little about the human body's inner clock.
Yeah, it's a young science, and it's from Europe, called chronobiology, and it's gained importance over the last 30 years. And this refers to the day-night cycle that affects us as human beings when the Earth rotates. So since the beginning, whenever that happened, that we started being in light and darkness, you know, we talk about the purple dawn.
Our whole world, yeah. I know.
Yeah,
That's good stuff.
If you look at the whole world was wrapped in this sheath from Saturn, supposedly. It's kind of an interesting thing. And then all of a sudden, Saturn kind of broke into the sun's atmosphere.
This is fascinating. Maybe at the end, last segment, let's go over that series we're watching. We'll share that with people.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Thing, yeah.
So basically what happened is all of a sudden we saw the sun, and then there was that what let there be light, and then we started paying attention to the stars, and maybe that's why all these monuments of the stars are out there, because all of a sudden human being says, we haven't seen this before, and now it's here, let's track it. And then this is when the rhythms really started.
Interesting stuff.
That's a theory.
So the more intelligently we absorb this information about how our bodies use chronos, time, we get the study of chronobiology. And this connection is important in the prevention and treatment of disease as well as our healing process. Isn't that fascinating, folks? That's what we're finding out. Some of the leading edge doctors that I'm following and studying and hanging out with and listening to and paying attention, they are talking about the importance of these time signals.
Yeah.
And real briefly, I think we covered this a couple shows back. There's 3 basic cycles of chronobiology. I'm not going to go into them. There's infraradian rhythms, which is really means under the day. They're more than 24 hours. The rhythms that last more than 24 hours. The ultraradian rhythms, these are the ones that are shorter than 24 hours. And then there's circadian rhythms, which actually are the rhythms that take approximately 24 hours.
Right. And the one I was talking about, the athlete, that's the first one, the infraradian rhythm, where you're looking at a long time and you're seeing how your body's working, and you say, okay, this competition, it's not quite right, so I have to adjust a little bit, and that rhythm you really pay attention to.
Right.
But the other rhythms that are like daily rhythms or shorter really talk about how our organs and everything is working, how our body is cleansing itself, and how we're detoxing.
Yeah, traditional Chinese medicine has been, in the meridian system, has always paid close attention to the chronobiology, the circadian rhythm, and all of our organ gland systems based on the meridians have time clock. Very interesting.
Yep.
So what's going on with chronobiology today? The field of chronobiology is rapidly expanding, and medical professionals and researchers are generally starting to see the benefits of using chronobiologic principles in everything from medication. I mean, even allopathic are starting to understand that it really does matter when you take something. And, you know, it may be important from medication even to the time of day that you exercise.
Yeah, and speaking of exercise, when I was a runner, I used to run in the morning a lot, and then something came up where I couldn't do that anymore, had to switch over to afternoon running, and there was that adjustment period of a couple of weeks till my body kind of got used to that different rhythm. And it was something that you had to get used to. So I think when we get in these rhythms, they're really sunk in with us, and this is how we run our lives.
So they're talking a lot about how this area of study is really being used as a lucrative form, you know, of study for the medical world, the natural health, but also the allopathic world. And it's still considered young science, but the possibilities are endless as how it might impact health.
Especially the deliver of medication. If you can deliver the medication when the organs are ready to receive the medication, then
when the organs are active.
When they're active, and when they're not active, if you're pumping the stuff in there, then maybe it's useless.
And in fact, really honoring the times that the body's actually doing its healing and cleansing work. So, you know, here's a little segment here that talks about time does not heal all wounds, and external and internal clocks control our physical, mental, and emotional functions without the need for us to interfere. So when we come back, we're going to talk about how important it is that we more intelligently attune to these life rhythms so we can get the greater benefit.
Yeah, I think this is important because we do run ourselves in all these little clocks that we have in our head to do things. So if we can get our medicine and get our health in order through the rhythms.
It's important for diseases and healing, being aware of how our body works.
Yep.
We'll be right back. Don't leave us.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back. And Paige and I today are talking about chronobiology. It's an acknowledged branch of research that investigates the interconnections of body, mind, and time. And the most important conclusion drawn from the viewpoint is that we possess a whole control package of genetically determined internal time regulators. Our body follows an internal clock, a 24-hour clock. We have lots of different rhythms in here, and these are important to our health. And a lot of what we are finding out in our research is that most of the time, the modern living disrupts these types of rhythms. Not only is our food disrupted and we have stuff in the air and in the water, now we have this clock that, you know, we're being forced to work at different hours. We go to school too early, perhaps. We do not follow our natural rhythms, and this is the story in our society that Paige and I really look at because we feel this is the wrong road to go on. We feel we have to have these natural rhythms to be healthy, free, and happy.
And pay more attention to how nature does, and nature follows time, temperature, and light. You know, so you were saying these time regulators, for example, hormones in the body are released in following this 24-hour cycle. The hormones release ultimately depends on the impulse of this inner clock that you mentioned, Nico, and under the control of our brain. And if these hormones can have a boosting or a curbing effect, but our body temperatures decrease, for example, during sleep, and our blood pressure rises as we wake. But if these rhythms get disturbed, it can really impact us. So every moment, chronobiology is transforming the actions inside of our organs into a unique and specific spectacle.
Yes.
And yet an hour later,
it's going to be different.
It's going to be all different.
Yeah, it seems like with age, some of our internal clocks are ticking more slowly while others are ticking faster. They tend to go out of tune, and some of them stop ticking altogether over the years. So organs begin to develop their own rhythm, and disturbances occur. So if they remain untreated, the theory is that diseases may develop from this. So our body kind of adapts in the wrong way because we're not in the rhythm of what Mother Earth has provided for us.
That's right. So there is going to be this whole area, no doubt. I think what this is kind of gearing up to is we've got a pill for that. But I like getting this information because obviously whoever created this website wants to get a lot of this knowledge down to support the premise of their products. I do think they're building for some type of product down the road. But so light and darkness control how our organs function, we said. And this light and darkness factor continually adjusts our everyday functions kind of to this 24-hour rhythm.
Right.
And, you know, for example, let's talk about the really important signaling compound called melatonin. We know that melatonin completes a multitude of tasks by daylight. And around 11 p.m., there's usually a sudden surge in melatonin levels to between 8 and 10 times the normal value. Now, I like to share at this point the really important point that I see so many people thinking they need to take melatonin as a supplement. But when you supplement a hormone, you really run the risk of shutting down your own feedback loop.
Yeah.
Let's find out how we build melatonin. And two ways that I work with clients is understanding, and what I've learned from Dr. Jack Kruse, is that it is the early morning, the light we're missing right at this moment, is what builds your melatonin. And so to be in the sun from sunrise to the first couple of hours, that's when you build, I mean, really the first hour. And looking at that UVA radiation and those light waves that are coming from the sun is what makes the melatonin so that you can release it at the right time.
Yeah. So what's really interesting about this science today is that they're talking about realizing maybe when tumors become active, what's the best time in your body, in your circadian rhythm, when tumors can become active or when they're shutting down. This knowledge itself can really target not only specific areas of the body, but specific time when to be taken. So if this tumor is going to become active at a certain time and you take the medication to slow this thing down, you can see how this would help instead of just being dormant in the body while it's waiting for the tumor to become active.
Oh, well,
Makes sense.
It comes back to the same thing. We can look at when the organs function best, when they function the worst, and when things that are desirable are expressed and when they're not. And really, you know, we can look at the bigger cycle, and that's really what gene expression or epigenetics is.
Right.
It's the time, things get expressed when things aren't in tune. And we've often said genes do not cause disease inherently, it's the environment. And the environment has a time element to it. Yeah, so I think that's an important thing. And
the next area is called the intelligence of our internal clock, and it says here that each cell produces highly specific substances such as building blocks of amino acids.
That's right.
Once the desired concentration is reached, production stops.
Hey, let me interject there.
Yeah.
Remember when we had Dr. Minkoff on the show? Remember how he said that the body goes out? And he actually described that kind of scenario. And he says the body goes out and it says, yep, got that amino acid. Yep, I got that one, I got that one. Oh, I don't have that one. Oh, that repair, that's going to have to be shelved.
That's right, it kind of throws it out.
I'm not going to be able to work on that because I don't have the raw materials, so we'll go on and do something else.
And the other thing that we found out, of course, those discarded amino acids, that these discarded proteins are the very thing that sugar attaches to and causes the problems in our body with the scarring and the starting of tumors and things like that.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
There you go. So we really know that there's a brain, there's a hormone signaling connection, and so forth. But what I really want you to key in on is that light is the powerful pulse generator. Whether a person survives a heart attack, for example, may depend on whether or not the sun's rays that shine through the window of the intensive care unit. Beds in the northern wing of a hospital are mysteriously associated with a higher mortality rate.
So the sun is kind of like the battery for us. It kind of charges us up to do a repair or whatever it needs to be
It's
done.
amazing how many hospitals don't even have windows in them. You go back and you look at pictures. Maybe we can find one on the break. There are pictures of people prior to, I call the Rockefeller rocking of the medical world, when naturopaths were kind of in control of health and healing in this country, late 1800s and so forth. There are people that had hospital beds where they had balconies, almost like condos today, and they'd move the beds outside on the balcony so the people would get the sun.
That would be cool.
And I've got a visual of a picture I saw.
Modern hospital would be revolving with the sun. You know, the whole-
Wouldn't that be something? Yeah. Or they'd actually get people, they'd have a big courtyard in the center,
Sure.
and they'd roll
Yeah.
the beds out there and let people get the
exercise,
sun.
go down into the room.
I think this kind of stuff may start to come in the future. Or hopefully people will choose to stay out of there if they can.
Well, I think this is sort of the natural way that when we had the medicine man, when we had the tribe, this kind of happened naturally.
Yeah. I think that was the shaman, the medicine man, the healer,
Yeah.
the wise one.
The one to point the way.
That's right.
Yep.
You know, so we're going to take a break here, but let's continue our discussion on the practice of chronobiology. And I think we're going to talk about how this new medical understanding helps you to guide you in your day, and it might even really be helpful in your basic supplementation. So we'll talk about, you know, in order for our body to perform its myriad of tasks, our body needs to take in these valuable substances at specific times and pay attention to the time of day.
We'll be right back.
That's right. Pick up some of our Primal Edge if you're on a break. We got 310 cell-ready ingredients, ready to get the good stuff in, bad stuff out.
That's right.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back. What about the chronobiology as it relates to vitamins and supplementation, and could it affect which vitamin or pharmaceutical drug, whatever, which one of them will be effective in the morning versus the evening? You know, many people regard vitamins as the givers of good health, and they'll just take them, you know, at any time, but that might not be good thinking, as the science of chronobiology is starting to, indicate.
Doctor's instructions to take stuff 30 minutes before we eat. We have certain vitamins or drugs that we take while we're eating, you know, with food. So we've already got that established in a sense. So now we're really expanding it because we now know the time that the organ or whatever the tumor is.
And what it says, the stringent rules of chronobiology also apply when you seek to remedy with vitamins and minerals. Look at the clock first. The time point is crucial. And you actually said we now know. The truth is mainstream medicine is just starting to pay attention what ancient cultures knew forever.
Right.
You know, it sort of bugs me sometimes when, you know, these kind of sites act like this is something profound that was just discovered. It always comes back to someone else already knew it first, our ancestors, you know.
Definitely, no doubt about that.
So, you know, first of all, the effect of some vitamins in the morning simply differs from their effect if you take them in the evening. And second, their effect on the metabolism may disturb your 24-hour circadian rhythm. So taking a multi-component formula, something like our Primal Edge, you know, is something that's formulated in a chronobiological form is simply essential. Sounds like they're leading up to a product, but
yeah, it does.
You know, choosing a different regime for men and women is even better. So we see, you know, that many people are recommending a male formula or female formula. So they may affect our daily fluctuations and influence the body's shift. So, for example, this is interesting, Nico, right down here. I don't know if you're with me here. The vitamins taken with food or in the form of food supplements, they require fats or water to be transported to the targeted area. And this is kind of interesting. I hadn't really thought about explaining this. You know, if we take a look at the fat-soluble vitamins, for example.
Okay.
You know, once they have dissolved inside the fat molecules, these actually reach the lymphatic vessels, and they're transported through the lymph system. Fat-soluble nutrients are. They go through the lymph system.
Right.
And the lymph vessels are directly linked to only a few organs. And the relevant vitamin accumulate primarily in the fatty tissue and in the liver. So once inside the body, they cannot be easily assimilated. As the storage capacity of fat is huge, such vitamins should only be taken with the utmost care. There are only 4 fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, and they are best taken in the morning after a plentiful breakfast and are less effective when taken later in the day.
Yeah.
So you might want to...
multivitamins with the meal, or in our case, because we have the fulvic and humic acid, we take a little bit before we eat to get the detox effect happening first, and then when we eat, the rest of it takes over.
Yeah, but I think this is a really good thing. The A, D, E, and K, these are your fat-soluble nutrients. I liken those to, I'm getting them in my butter and my pastured eggs, that kind of a thing. So I think of that, maybe add a few liver capsules. So I'm getting that nutrition at that time of the day. But they are best taken in the morning after a plentiful breakfast, and yet vitamin substances dissolved in water are universally effective, but can also be more volatile. They are regularly eliminated in the urine. That would be your B vitamins. Okay? So that's why a lot of people say, oh, I've got expensive urine. And remember Dr. Wallach said, and Dr. Wallach said, it's better to have expensive urine than expensive coughing.
That's for sure.
You know, and having nutritional deficiencies because we don't get them.
Well, a lot of times when you see that yellow urine, then you're talking that it's not being it's not reacting with your body.
I don't even think that's necessarily true. I just think the body, you know, the
decides to keep things or say it gets rid of things.
Exactly. The kidneys are a great filter system, and they figure out what you need, what you have excess, what you don't have enough of, to keep things in balance.
And if they don't do that, then you're really in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those organs are really, you need them to be
And here
healthy,
we go. Consistent daily dosage of nutritional factors help to avoid deficiencies, which could lead to metabolic disorders. So, you know, again, just to recap, we talked, there's 7 water-soluble vitamins, and they're both, like I said, in the B group.
Right.
That's your folate, your pantothenic acid, your thiamine, cyanocobalamin, which is B12, riboflavin, B2, niacin, and peroxidine, B6. Other water-soluble vitamins are vitamin C, and vitamin C is often deficient because somehow or another we lost the enzyme to manufacture ourselves. We as humans need to get that from our diet.
Right.
And
we get that from many things. Many things.
Yeah. And the more researchers are becoming involved in this issue, there's a lot of things that we need to look at. But the challenge is to apply too strictly but equally intelligent assimilation of nutrients so that you can get them the nutrients that you need at the right time in the right form.
Yeah. What substance works best in the morning? What substance works best in the evening? Which substance can be taken together? Which needs to be combined in order to work at all? Can a biological substance be hampered with other substances? These are kind of the questions. How does the effect of certain medications change in relationship to the time of the day that they are administered? Another question, how is it possible to optimize the effectiveness of medications? So these are the questions they're trying to answer with this type of chronopharmacological methods that they're coming up with here.
Yeah, and when we talk about these times when the circadian rhythm is disturbed, general health and well-being strongly impacted, like when you change time zones. This can really kind of throw your body off, and the jet lag is actually the body trying to get back into its rhythm. So when we adapt our lifestyle to match our inner rhythms, then we're going to actually be much healthier.
Yeah, the administering drugs at a correct time can increase the effectiveness of the therapy and keep the side effects to a minimum. So when you're targeting at the right time, you're going to have less problems in the long run. And it makes sense.
So we've talked about the chronobiology of the cycle of the life, and then we talked about the chronopharmacology, which is creating a substance that can support it based on time. And here's chronopathology, the intelligent anatomy of a disease. Chronopathology deals with the subject of disrupted timing in vital biological process. It describes different phenomena and the abnormality of chronological sequences, as well as its characteristics, the cause, what's the prognosis, and therapeutic implications. So illnesses in specific organisms manifest at specific times.
Yeah, annual and weekly rhythms have an impact on the susceptibility to and the frequency of illnesses, accident frequencies, and mortality rate. So those
so here, let me give you an example. Blood pressure, for example, exhibits these factors of time. Abnormalities occur under certain everyday conditions as well as during phases of activity and rest. Many people feel they experience blood pressure surges at night when they lay down. It could be the active mind and the stress.
Right.
And so many people in this field are actually starting to study how we express things. Now, we know that a lot of people say, I wake up between 2 and 4. Well, when I hear that from a client, I'm going to ask them, did you eat late? Did you have more than a glass or so of wine or a beer or cocktail? Because that's the window of time. That's the meridian time for the liver. And if you're waking at that time, it's telling you the liver is sending out a message that it's not in balance.
Yeah, and this can really impact people like who work shift workers, people who are working different hours, for sure.
Exactly. So we'll be right back.
Yep, stick around, folks. We'll be right back. Pick up some Primal Edge during the break, and we'll be good to go.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
So it's about time. We've been talking about chronobiology, and let's talk a little bit about how blood glucose affects your internal clock. And, you know, many of us have heard the popular advice not to eat late at night. And have you ever been told that eating a large breakfast, on the other hand, can actually help with weight loss? Well, again, this really is a lot of the same information that we were talking about earlier today. It does matter not just what you eat, but when you eat it.
Well, there's another side to this, too, because I think about modern man is so different than our prehistoric ancestors. If we were in my teepee on the Great Plains and I wake up and there's no food, then I don't have anything, and now I got to go search for one, and it may not be around. The buffalo aren't here yet. So when did he eat? They ate when they could.
I just thought of a song. Like the Chicago song. Does anyone really know what time it is?
Yeah,
we don't.
Does anybody really care, right?
Does anybody really care about time? But we do need to care about time. And that is the issue. Our bodies, our internal clocks are getting a mixed message because we're getting, you know, aberrant light at all hours.
Well, it's also, too, maybe that we're just so consumed with time in our daily lives as far as working concerned, getting appointments, and, you know, our modern living is creating all these little time slots for us that we have to do this at this time, we have to do this, have to get my run in now, so maybe this is the stressor.
I just thought of another infographic I saw last night about this is what we think time looks like, and it's very linear. And instead, it was this big ball that had a bunch of, I guess I would explain them as spirals, and they were all overlapping, and says this is what time really is. It's all overlapping. And
well, they say everything's going on at the same time, you know.
Right, well, exactly.
For me, there is no past. I mean, the past is a memory, so it's not alive anymore. The future we don't know, so all we have is, like Tom says, we're here right now, this is what we have. And all we have is this now. But it is still important to realize that we do need the sun, and we do operate on an internal clock. And boy, for me, it's really important to know when I can peak and when I can't peak. And just as important is when you're not feeling quite right and we're pushed to do things in our modern life, it's a good idea to just say, wait a minute, I'm not feeling quite right, let's just stop for a little while. We don't have that luxury in our modern living just to say, you know, I'm just going to take it easy today. A lot of people just don't have that.
And even if they should, They're so guilted they won't.
There's the other side of that coin. Exactly.
Yeah. And so getting back to this, some of the most recent research suggests that our blood glucose levels are inseparably connected to the circadian 24-hour rhythm. And endocrinologists and other health professionals who are working with diabetic patients have long been aware that the blood glucose levels fluctuate. So that might be part of the cycle. Maybe we're messing with Mother Nature again. Who knows? So, you know, the possibility of a link between the circadian rhythm and blood glucose levels was explored in a 2014 study that found that shift workers have heightened risk for diabetes compared to other populations.
Yeah.
And the exact biochemical cause of this link was unknown, but a new study in chronobiology has connected the dots, showing that blood glucose levels and insulin resistance both are subject to an internal 24-hour clock. So working evening and night shifts disrupts one's circadian rhythm, throwing one's behavior out of sync with the hormones, and insulin is a hormone.
Yeah.
And this can give rise to a wide range of issues.
Yeah. And there's really no reason why we need shift work. We don't need 24-hour access to everything. We already have it electronically. We have enough types of things that are kind of machines can do it. You know, so we don't need people working these crazy hours anymore. I know we do because we're overproducing everything and we have to buy everything all the time. But I think our natural world is not like that. Our natural world is where we don't have to buy things and things are given away. It's a different type of world we're talking about. So don't let the clock rule you. Find out how your body works yourself and then follow your natural rhythms.
Well, you know, following this study, Nico, you know, they're talking about what happens with these shift workers is many of them end up eating dinner. I've noticed a lot of people that work in retail, like in malls, they'll say, I'm going to lunch now. And it's like 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what do you mean it's lunch?
Well, because they start at 2 o'clock and they're off at 10 or something.
But then that's what happens, is then they may go home and eat dinner at 10 o'clock. That's the wrong signal to send your body. In fact, I think I've been telling some of my people that do work later nights, and I have loved ones that do, that really you should be that should be a fasting time while you're working. Do not eat. Do not get off work and go through a drive. Well, we would never tell people to go through a drive-through, but I bet you there's a lot of people that do.
Yeah.
Or they go home and they cook when they get home at 10, 11, 12 o'clock. That sends a horrible message of schedule to the body.
It would be better just to relax for a little while, go to bed, and then when you wake up, eat something.
Exactly. The body does not want food when it's sleeping. It wants to be rest and restore. It does not want to.
It can't rest when digestion is going on.
It can't be saying, hey, thanks a lot for this steak. While you're sleeping, I'm going to try and break this down for you, but so I'm not going to be able to work on any repair.
Well, remember, the repair also works during the day more than at night. The body really wants to rest and rejuvenate itself. So if you're talking about major repairs, that's going on during the day too. So if you're disrupting it with no sleep at night and then you're sleeping during the day, everything gets thrown off, and your body really has to get used to that. I don't know if it ever can fully get used to it or not. This is the study of this type of work, so perhaps we're going to find this out in the future.
It's like it says here, you know, this information doesn't just apply to shift workers, guys. Many people lead busy lives in which their circadian rhythm is an afterthought. How many of you maybe sit down, you have dinner at 6 o'clock, and then you watch a Netflix movie, and then you order a pizza? Bad move.
Yeah, I think we should have a new studio down in downtown St. Pete on the roof. That way we can watch that sun come up every morning, and everybody will be watching it with us.
Oh, my
Let's
goodness.
put a little request into Tom and Tommy to get this done.
Be
I think
outdoors.
it's for our health, you know. So.
Yeah, be outdoors, that's for sure.
That's right, be an outdoors person. But anyway, this is a fascinating thing, and they have a lot of other things on here. One of the things is the diet, which I really wanted to mention that I'm not really in the favor of when I look at their diet. But they're going.
We're still kind of looking at it because it says the challenges of modern life are not going to disappear. But if we do start to be aware that our body handles different foods better at different times of the day, and regardless of what they said, you and I are both kind of like, kind of knitting our eyebrows over what they say, but I remember that Dr. Marshall, bless his heart, he really was, his latest research was that we really were designed to have carbohydrates around midday. Made me think about Europeans who often have a very nice physique. They walk, they meet in the mid-afternoon for what, tea and cakes, right?
For an hour or two.
Or dessert, or a little ice.
But they're saying in the morning to eat baked goods and cereals. And
well, you mentioned that, yeah.
And then another article I found deep in, it says don't eat baked goods, which of course we agree with.
Dr. Jack Kruse says no, you want to eat more of a paleo template, epi-paleo template, Jack's template, which is, you know, maybe even some seafoods, and not have those things that spike blood glucose. But what I think Jack is saying is the light signals it's time to eat. The darkness signals it's not time to eat. It's really that simple. How simple, I mean, it really is. Because our internal clocks really are important for our health. So stick with us. We'll share some more info for you.
We'll be right back, folks.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
The TFNN Memorial Day Tiger Dollar Special has just been announced. For 1 week only, we're doubling the bonuses that we normally give out with any Tiger Dollar purchase. Normally, when you purchase Tiger Dollars, you can receive a 10, 15, or 20% bonus with your purchase, but through Memorial Day only, we've doubled the bonuses to 20, 30, and even 40%. This is one of the best Tiger Dollar sales that we offer, and they only come around a couple times a year, so don't let it pass you by. Tiger Dollars can be used for any TFNN newsletter or service, and they never expire. So whether you're already a subscriber and want to add savings to your monthly or yearly subscription, or you're thinking about signing up for anything in the future, now is a great time to get your Tiger Dollars. For all the details on the Memorial Day Tiger Dollar Special, visit the front page of TFNN.com before this deal ends May 28th.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV. But if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
And welcome back. You know, we spend about 90% of our time indoors with minimal daylight and fresh air. We aren't aware of it, but research studies have proven that this can be harmful to our health and well-being.
That's right, Nico. This is from an article that's called The Indoor Generation. I would think it would be great if you would Google it because...
Yeah, the website is Velux USA.
Yeah, Velux is a skylight company, but it's actually very well done information. It says we are creating the indoor generation, and the way our story ends is really kind of up to us. There's a little movie that's out. You might want to check out the trailer, the indoor generation. And indoor air can be 5 times more polluted than outdoor air. And so no matter where you are, just open up the doors. Let a little, I don't worry about letting a little air conditioning out. I want some mix in the air.
Well, it's always so good when you can open up the house and just let that breeze come through. I mean, we have just wonderful weather here in Florida, and it just leads itself to having the indoors, outdoor, and outdoors, indoors is the way I do it.
But I like what you said about the idea of being outdoors. I think there could be a whole business model of producing outdoor offices. And hey, what if even if it's a little bit cooler, maybe you have those warmers like you have in restaurants. But I don't know about you, but I feel much better when I'm outdoors. I like the saying, don't be an insider, be an outsider.
Like to roll back the roof sometime, that's all. Research studies show that classrooms that are well lit with natural light create more effective learning environment than those with poorly lit. There's no reason to doubt that the benefits also apply in the home and the workplace. So,
That's right. And I'll tell you another thing that many people are finding out, that living in damp and moldy homes increases the risk of asthma by 40%. I am going down a real rabbit hole on the whole idea of nasal breathing, and they found that probably making sure that you are a nasal breather as opposed to a mouth breather is the most important thing you can do for your health. Let's face it, is there anything more important to health than breathing?
Yeah. When I started that taping of the mouth, it really got me into a habit, and now I don't have to tape it, except once in a while. Then I notice, I said, okay, put the tape back on. But it kind of trains you to keep that mouth closed.
I do. I'm going to recommend the micropore tape. You can get it from Amazon. And taping your mouth to ensure that you're having proper jaw structure. We are going to go down that rabbit hole. I have been spending countless hours looking at the mu chew and the mu effect, which is I believe what's going to be the replacement of orthodontia. See, braces ruin faces. I bet you guys didn't think that. Braces straighten teeth, but they ruin faces. And the theory of orthotropic and mouth posture and myology and myofunctional research and taping and breathing through the nose and keeping that tongue on the roof of the mouth. These are the things that can make a difference. And so when I saw that comment about asthma, it made me realize that in looking at this study, many children become a mouth breather as a result of a plugged up nose. They had a case study of a young boy, just adorable looking boy. His posture is, his mouth was closed, but over a short period of years, his whole facial profile changed. He got a very his chin melted away, and it was a result of nasal breathing. He didn't support his maxilla during a growth period, and when they really look back at it, it was around the time that the parents bought him a gerbil. So he was sleeping in his bedroom,
with the gerbil,
developing an allergy. I mean, you have to mouth breathe if you have a clogged up nose. So many of us parents were not aware that a lot of these allergic symptoms that our children had, created that situation, but as a result, they've had facial malformations, and it's going to affect them for the rest of their life in terms of breathing. We're going to talk about how the airway and this increase in sleep apnea and these kind of things are really a result, in many cases, to poor jaw skeletal formation and also to orthodontia. That's going to be good stuff.
For sure.
So check that out, guys. Check that out. The indoor generation. We'll see you next show.
Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.